who was able to defeat them throughout the group stages and throughout the playoffs is this team, Nova Esports. It's like, a puzzle that they cannot solve. But right now, the puzzle continues because Nova Esports is banning one of the champions that KBG is very good in utilizing in the Shen. Meanwhile, KBG answers with a volley bear ban.
I don't think Nova Esports is ever going to be interested in a Shen lineup, especially that Long wants to be the main carry, prioritizing champions like Fiora or the Shen Zhao at the very least, and just being a massive playmaker and a damage dealer as well. And Yitze normally just likes picking champions like Garen or a Renekton to have a stable Baron lane, in a sense. Good recognition of Xiaomo's potential to utilize his Ashe. They take it away from him. They take the Vi from the Dawn as well.
Camille being banned. Oh, remake. Not being allowed to play the Ziggs. So is this a core key priority for Neon? Oh, this is going to be an Ornn. We have to remember that Yami prefers to play the Ornn over the Gragas. And so if you're UU, I think it's time for them. Actually, they have an option to not really lock down this Gragas, but there is this risk of this Gragas to go to Yami and then the Ornn going to the top lane. So might as well just secure it now. Just follow the formula, the blueprint that J Team did set yesterday, in where you just lock down the Gragas and its impact is definitely felt for the entirety of the series.
Yeah. Every time the Gragas was available, J-Team took it without hesitation. And we saw the output that they had through DY in that match. That's going to be replicated by UU. We'll see the UU special on this champion. Nova Esports has to be ready.
Hey, this is our topic just a while back. We did discuss that the Kaisa and the Corki, who really is the best mid lane ADC right now, or best mid lane marksman. After yesterday's performance, I kind of want to really give it towards the Kaisa, because the Kaisa, especially a Void Seeker, it's almost unlimited, right? Unlimited ammunition, very good range as well, very good scaling, and the killer's instinct to really get inside and get the killing blow onto the primary targets is really key. Now, KBG is going to lock down the Kazakhs as a response to the Fiora. We know that yesterday, Long was able to pop off on the Fiora during his first game, but was answered immediately by J-Team when they drafted a composition that has a Karma, really pinning down this Fiora and making sure that the lane game won't happen.
Yeah. Kazakhs, possibly a Karma as well here on KBG, right? Because this Corki go to the mid lane for Anna, and definitely really reflecting how much investment they are willing to have in order to prepare for this match right now. The notes that they have taken from yesterday is just incredible. Even the respect on the Swain is present here by KPES Gaming.
Zeri being banned away, as well as we all know that Anran really heavily prioritizes the Zeri. Now, this Kazakhs is, of course, going to get picked up, not because it is the best champion of the Tone. We have to remember that his best champion are the utility champions, such as the Vi, such as the Shen. But this Kazakhs has a special feature, special skill, right?
Oh, yeah.
We all know that when it comes to objective takings, Kazakhs is number one, right? If you combine your Taster Fear or your skill 1 with your Smite, it just allows you to have that sudden burst to be able to get that one up against Long. And again, when talking about Smite fights against the jungle god himself, you need every bit of advantage.
Yeah. Every bit of advantage, every bit of ways that you can outsmite him, you have to take it without hesitation. Every single additional damage that you can have against this possible Fiora jungle of Long is going to be needed every single time. Since the Nautilus is being hovered right now, this possibly would be a Baron lane Ornn here for Yitze.
Okay, and KBG is borrowing the playbook of Thunder Talk. You draft a double marksman, we draft an assassin for Unrun 9. And I have to talk about Unrun 9, the MVP. Oh man, that was the Baron laner of that was Don 128 in your screen. He's closely observing, right? He's watching. Okay, so who's going to join us for the upcoming panels? But the viewer support rating as well tells a very big story here. Lots of fans of Nova Esports is in full support and they want them to join J Team in the final stage.
This is basically KBG evolving so much right now, taking notes of even Z on his Akali on how they were able to take them down twice with this champion itself, and 2 MVPs were even secured by Z just because of his performance on the Akali. And now that Andran gets this champion, man, that's a lot of backline threat. He can just put this Ezreal of Neon and the Kaisa of Remake to dust with the damage of this champion.
To sleep, to dust, right? Like being that Thanos, being that snapper. But we have to remember, this is again the play that was very effective when Thunder Talk played it, right? It's almost a similar formula. They want a tank in the top lane. Shin was on the Garen mostly. And then of course on run 9, we all know that when it comes to being able to play this champion, you cannot get the MVP if you cannot play, this Akali. And his number of solo kills, we have to remember he's number 1 in solo kills for the entirety of the group stage. Although the number 1 killer or the most bloodthirsty player is Z, on run 9 is just capable of winning the 1v1s by himself.
Yeah. That's the star of Keep Best Gaming. Right now, KG is being threatened.
Boom!
One more auto attack!
Passive!
Oh, unfortunate there for Keep Best Gaming. Neon gets a free kill.
It is indeed the best start possible for Neon, because again, with just extra gold, that would allow you to have the upper hand in this matchup against the assassin. Oh man, did you see that passive stacks, the void stacks, right?
Yeah.
Right at the end of it all, rocking the passive, you definitely have to respect the damage output of the Kaisa at this stage. And we look into Yitze, he's getting that grasp and dying, and there you go, last hit, proccing Void Seekers, or the Plasma stacks, or Void stacks, is just key. That's first blood for Nova.
That's very unfortunate for KG. It's just a slightness calculation that the damage won't be enough. The cast and drain timing with the auto attack is just perfect. Zero counterplay. Even if KG flashes out, the damage would still be there and he'd still be dead.
We also saw a remake on the actually, was it remake? Oh yeah, he was on the Ezreal yesterday, right? Like, because I remember there was a match in where there was an Ezreal for Nova Esports, and then there was a Zoe that he just arcane shifted forward, got the head of the Zoe. That's definitely one of the things that we will carefully monitor all throughout this game, number 1. But if anything, like Neon already having that 1-0 is definitely a very good start for this mid laner, because again, you need every bit of gold advantage, especially against the CN MVP and Unrun.
Yeah, I mean, it's one step closer to the ban immune, and earlier scaling means earlier pop-off later on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want every bit of gold that can be injected onto him. That's why even Yami is helping him out to put a couple of plates here in the mid lane. Andran, given the range disadvantage, is gonna be forced to just give these plates away.
Yeah. This is one way to control an assassin in the mid lane. We know the range advantage will definitely put you in a very advantageous position. But looking on the top side, KBG also gets their hands on some tower plates. Hold that thought. Level 5 and run.
Gonna be backing away though. Took too much damage
Crucial
from
barrage.
Yami.
Okay.
Ooh, by a hairline.
Yeah. One Teemo. Okay. Yitze will be okay. Again, one of the main attraction of why you draft Orin is that you can buy items outside the base. And the best item to buy are the HP items, right? Because it kind of makes you be that solid rock. Oh.
It's gonna be fine, supposedly. You a little bit deep there.
Yeah.
But again, it's just a pressure that KBG keeps on putting here in the Baron lane so that eventually they can take this tower down.
Warmog's already completed, but I don't think he has enough bonus health to activate the Warmog's armor passive. I think he needs at least one more Ruby Crystal or one Giant's Belt to get that unlimited HP regen going for him. But again, just going back to what happened on the top side, that's also Yu missing his explosive cask, and he has to do better. We have to remember DY was immaculate on the champion yesterday, and was definitely a very integral part as to why JT was able to get that series win. And here, if KBG really wants that sweet revenge, Yu has to step up.
Oh yeah, I mean, they have the tools. They have the damage. They have the possible setups that they can make to take down Nova Esports. It's up to them and how they're gonna be timing it against Nova Esports right now. Because Nova is gonna be playing it very passively. Defensively, they have good front lines on the Ornn, on the Nautilus. Relatively okay DPS as well, since they do have the Fiora, and they're just gonna be waiting for Remake and Dian to pop off later on. It's so hard to chase him down because the folks are real. It's an Ezreal with the Arcane Shift, and also the Void Seekers coming in later from Neon is going to be so irritating.
Wait. Is this real? KBG going for the Dragon, meanwhile Nova Esports going for the Rift Herald. It does look like the Nova learned their lesson from yesterday and kind of wants to borrow a play from J-Team. Call for the Forge God, Yitze, going to connect onto 2, but no follow-up as of yet.
Yeah. Nova Esports just are able to take this Rift Herald, and KBG gets a scaling objective for themselves. And this way, Nova Esports can open the mid lane right now.
Yeah.
Maybe even use it a little bit later when KBG would attempt to gank on the side lane so that they can maximize it, maybe go for a second charge as well, because right now things are looking good for Neon, things are looking good for Remake, and Long hasn't been threatened at all just yet.
And they don't have to force anything, right? Like at this point, they have a very good scaling team. Fiora is a high late game champion for sure, even if it's played in the jungle. The damage is relative to your items. Same could be said, of course, to the Ezreal and the Kai'Sa. Like this is really designed to win the late game. But KBG here to contest. Rift Herald is still alive and could get the second charge.
They're gonna be trying to take it down. Looks like they are not successful. Second charge completed, fully maximizing that RH. Nova Esports actually targeted the bot lanes, and it has more plates than the mid lane. I'm not so sure with the top lane though. We haven't really seen that tower just yet. It might have been a lot healthier, but not enough to go like second charge. So Nova Esports just wanting to play it more safely. They are sitting at a relatively good gold lead nonetheless.
Yeah. Speaking of the tower on the top lane, just one more tower plate here to be farmed on the top side. But the Garen will respect the potential of Nova Esports rotating on the top side. Right on cue, because there was someone there. That Tone, by the way, also buying Serpent's Fang, anti-shield item. This is patch 4.2a, so this is still not the buffed version of that item. But regardless of it being buffed or not, just the passive of being able to negate all those shields coming from the Nautilus is going to be key.
Oh yeah, it's one of the items that we have seen not prioritized by some teams that were heavily punished. Right now, you cannot risk it as of at this point. KBG maximizing it at the moment. They're also playing it safe, waiting for Andran to get his items going. 2-3 items is the killer situation right now for KBG, in which backline of Nova Esports will always shiver in fear.
I kind of just want to highlight one important thing as well. That Nova is now willing to put the Ornn on the top side, right? And have Yami on a more comfortable champion. And this is not a knock against Yami, but I really think he's not that comfortable on the Ornn compared to the other champions. And it is also very obvious that if you are on the Ornn, you don't really have the best disengage option as a support. And in this long drawn out team fight, you need disengage.
Yeah, some of the supports after they have been trying out the Ornn struggle with this champion simply because of the lack of disengage, and oftentimes you see them losing that game in which they force themselves with this champion. Nova Esports responding really well. 4 players are ahead against their counter matchups. 2,000 gold lead, still playing things very stable. This time around, I think they can start to contest the second dragon, because oftentimes KBG just walks away.
You have to. You definitely have to contest the second dragon, regardless of what happens here because the pressure of the third dragon is going to be very deadly. Run.
Good hook. That's a flash. Perfect execution. Not at all perfect as Nova Esports still pins him down, and that will help them secure this tower as well.
More gold for Nova Esports. And is that a Leandris already completed for the Kaisa? I think so, because I was seeing some burn damage. Later on, we'll be looking into the items, but that's actually a good buy, especially against the Garen and against the Gragas, because we all know that Leandris is a percent health damage, and it's not too bad, especially on an AP Kaisa, because you basically have two choices. It's either you go for the Leandris or you go for the Riftmaker, and I dare say it, right? Leandris, on a perfect condition such as this, is a better choice.
If you want to go for poke, and just go for the Leandris right now. The Dragon falling down onto the hands of Nova Esports. Perfect chain CC, but they're gonna trade the support for the objective. They're happy with that already as they walk away. KBG no longer pushing through.
Still, the gold is on the side of Nova, and more importantly, they were able to deny the 3 dragon stack win condition for KBG. The Tone, though, very proactive in going to the other side of the map, and they know that the members of Nova Esports did go back, and so it will be a safe patting here. However, Nova is actually doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You take my blue, I take your blue.
This is an improvement, a massive improvement on the macro plays of Nova Esports. Just demonstrates how well they've learned during their match against J-Team as well. KG will take this tower in the top lane since no one's there to defend it. Nova Esports threatening in the bot lane in the mid lane though. That's why we see some of the players of KBG pushed a little bit back. It's not yet the time for them to engage onto them.
KG getting that tower on top lane is huge, but what is bigger is this kill that they could do against Itze.
Taking so much time. He's just
He's
so
so
tanky. 2
tanky.
items. Warmog, Sunfire, unkillable.
Yeah. And so now what he will be doing is to just relax, drink some Coca-Cola, and regen back to full health. That is it right now with Warmog's armor. Everything is okay. He feels refreshed. Nothing happened, and KBG invested a lot of ultimates there. Yu used his explosive cast, perfect execution as well. But again, you need more to be able to kill an Ornn, especially if it's an Ornn that is on the top lane. Because we have to know, or we have to note, that this Ornn being on the top lane means that he has more gold.
Later on, this Ornn is going to be a problem here for KBG. It takes so much time for them to take him down. Side lane controls are starting to be a problem for KG against this matchup as well. There's not yet an instance that we have seen any threat to Remake and Neon. They're being able to successfully farm, and through their build as well, focusing on the pokes just amplifies that lack of range that KBG actually has to close the distance. Big responsibility again to Yu later on, because that cast has to be picture perfect all the time.
True, and the only way that Nova would be able to kill this Ornn is if the Tone will be there, or Venra. Oh, wait. Okay, this is for wave clear only, right? But the Tone may show himself off. You know what? Yitze knows something is amiss. And we'll just back away. And be A-okay, be safe. That's actually a very good way to of course, control the wave, right? All of the Forge God with the shortened cooldowns here in the Wild Rift can be used for wave clearing purposes. Especially knowing if there is, no big objective to fight for in the next few minutes, then yeah, sure, go ahead and just fire away your ult every single time that you feel the need to do so.
Yeah, and the only thing it needs to is freeze the wave a little bit closer towards the tower, and it should be fine. KBG will not be able to kill him in time, even if they dive under the tower. We have seen a highlight already in which Ratel secured 3 kills under the tower. KBG doesn't want that. They're just allowing this Ornn right now to be settled down here. Andran is happy farming as well. Nova Esports looking for some avenues, maybe to face them in a Baron or sneak away a Baron. But KBG is keeping track all the time. They're being very composed.
Yeah, and I think this is where KBG choosing Oh, okay. So what happened there? Yietz is giving his passive to Remake, and so now Remake can buy items. So that's the interaction. There's no clear like indication in game of who has the passive, but you know when it gets zoomed by our production team, that just means one thing, right? The passive interaction is already happening, and Remake can buy items 5 times outside the base.
Right now, the Dragons spawns and KBG, they want to take it. They're being threatened though. That's engaged. Good knockoff. Stasis to buy some time. The backline will be penetrated, but Andron's still taking some damage. Good, perfect execution. Long is very low. The sword is dropped here onto Yietz, but still able to charge his way away from the harms. Wait, Yu very low, but still able to stay alive. Neon tries to steal, and it does! How is this possible? Remake getting the dragon now. KBG is being threatened. Andron goes back, goes into stasis mode, unsuccessful in killing Yami, goes in with a hook, and he's dead. Nova eSports basically outplayed them in that fight.
That's a big problem. You drafted Kha'Zix for one purpose, and that is to win smite fights. That was not even a smite fight. That was just the Ezreal arcane shifting inside, timing his auto attack or skill properly to get that Infernal Dragon, which is going to be huge. We look into that replay once again, and you would see here that their target was long. They want to execute him, assassinate him as early as possible, but because of that repose, he was able to negate the execution damage. We'll look into that replay once again. There's something happening on live right now. Baron being taken, half health already.
Yeah, half health already, or about 60%. A Call of the Forge card will not connect onto anyone, but it's enough to shove the members of KBG away. That's steal on the Dragons. That's so frustrating for KBG for sure.
Yeah. That was a perfectly timed Mystic shot, right? Like, oh man, Remake is just a beast on this Ezreal. And again, this double scaling composition by Nova was their recipe to really get the upper hand against KBG. KBG did try to respond by drafting their very own assassin. However, with the way things are going, with the pace this game has gone, the assassin is not allowed to really impact the game. Anra 9, 0 to win, 0, definitely behind the counterparts right now. Especially, we know this. If you are an assassin, you cannot go behind. If you ever go behind, you stay behind the entire game.
Long as well investing a lot on the sustain so that he can survive for the longest of time, and that additional HP and shield that he has from the Steros definitely helped him survive that fight a while ago and just win a major objective here in this match right now. Nova eSports securing 2 imported dragons, Infernal and Mountain. It's just perfect. They have the damage, they have the tank, both will benefit from this buff.
True. Yeah, perfect. This is, I believe, the perfect set of dragons that you could hope for if you're Nova eSports.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a mountain dragon, a double stack mountain dragon helping out this Ornn. Just more resistances for him, and then you have the Infernal Dragon that will help boost the damage of Remake, Long, and Neon. I think, okay, so Yietze used his passive beside Long. Okay, so this is, for those players or for those viewers that hasn't played the Ornn yet, you have to be closest, or you will be able to give the passive to whomever is closest to you. So you kind of have to build your items very close as to where you want to share your passive with. So that's why I think the observers was focusing down that he was trying to help out Long. So now Long has access to buy items outside the base. Crazy,
this
right?
Is just
like
perfect, yeah. It's another advantage that they have against Kipes Gaming. I mean, they have the pokes, they have the buys, they have sustain, they have durability, additional damage as well. How can KBG this time even close the distance? Not even a poke is a problem here for Nova eSports. KBG needs to close the distance right now, but it's just so hard to do that because every time they poke their nose inside a perimeter or inside an area, Nova eSports is there to always chunk them out.
Yeah, and again, those pokes coming from... Oh, okay, that charge going to be used, plus the true shot barrage. Again, speaking of pokes, Neon definitely should have the upper hand, right? Like, unlimited amount of Void Seekers coming the way of KBG, and they're not being allowed to even set foot without damage. Oh man, this is so hard, extremely hard for KBG. You look at the Garen. Garen's already half health. He doesn't have Warmonks, but he does have passive. Another Void Seeker connects onto KG.
Oh man, this is just so tough right now for KBG.
Okay. The tone?
They need a miracle. They need a massive good play. Yami flashing in. Is not going to be catching anyone as of the moment. But the Elder Dragon's still a chance for KBG.
Yeah.
If they can get this without any casualties, maybe they can win. Andran is being spotted out. That's engaged. They turn onto the other members. Yami is very low. Daton as well. He has to fall back. There's no healing on KBG's side. Killer Instinct's going to come through. He's burning to death. And Kaisa gets one. Neon is going to be falling back for the meantime. The Void Seekers are just a big problem here for KBG, and they're pressuring them down here for the Elder Dragon. Yuyu goes in with a cast, but it's simply not enough. Tries to buy some time with a stasis, but it's still going to be falling down. Healing now with the Grand Challenge. Jathon just desperately trying to close the distance onto the Dragon, but he has no access to it. The Ezreal picks him up. KBG lost the Elder Dragon, lost 3 members, and Nova eSports just gets everything here.
He can get this. He can get this. Assassination. There you go. Elder Dragon helping Yietsu. And just adding insult to the injuries, building items in front of you, man. You know what item he was trying to build? The tombstone. The gravestone, right? Like, okay, so this is where you died. Oh man, like Nova. Oh,
I'll pick a coffin for you.
Very decisive team fight, dude. Like that fight was a clean one for Nova eSports. KBG could not do a thing. And again, this is why you draft a double marksman composition if you're KBG and not really over-experiment with the assassin. I'm not saying that Run 9 is not capable to play the assassin, but if you are going to play the assassin and won't be able to pick up the pace, accelerate the game in your favor, and it's going to be very hard against the triple scaling composition of Nova.
It's just a masterclass of positioning and team fight manipulation here by Nova eSports. It's as if that we're seeing J-Team right now in this jersey of Nova eSports. Right now, they're basically reflecting what they have learned from their previous match, and they're applying it against KBG right now and having the biggest effect at 10,000 gold lead. 2 Dragon stacks, a double buff as well with the Baron Elder. They're closing this game right now. Knocking, bashing the doors. The Ton is dead. There's nothing that KBG can do. They're just desperately trying to defend their base right now, but the knockout is going to be there for the Call of the Forge God. Another member is dead. Yise just tanking everything as the rest of Nova eSports completes this game number 1. Incredible victory.
My biggest take, Kaisa needs to be prioritized. Kaisa is just, I think, the best